So I finally found the fish man, and then I lost the fish man. There he is. No, I'm not about to waste bait. Because you decide, you're not in the bait range.
You're not in the bait range?
No, and we covered why that's a horrible idea.
Fucking cock so big that I could fucking deep throat it myself, just sitting here casually.
You couldn't fit that in your mouth.
True.
It reminds me of a stand-up comedian who was complaining that his girlfriend had a boyfriend that had a Pepsi can cock.
I remember hearing part of that. He's like, it's the specificness of
the reference. And come
that
on,
really upsets me.
come on, if you're like it was like a soda can. That's something that you come up with on the spot. But a Pepsi can, that's something that you were actively thinking about. At least once through your mind, you thought, "Wow, this is just like a delicious can of Pepsi." Let me fill you with averageness and mediocrity. Wrong one.
But, do you know what we need more?
Stories?
Stories.
Because I can go back to Rockspire Island.
Okay. John has told about like 8 stories to my 1.
So
mine was a doozy.
Oh,
but
look at that.
Fuck, wasn't expecting that one.
I cannot remember where we got Treasure Chart 30, so I am sorry, folks.
Yeah.
I have failed you.
Sorry.
And by we, I mean Keith. It's all Keith's fault.
Oh, no, my feelings are hurt.
You don't have feelings.
Clearly I do.
Nope.
And clearly they're now broken in pieces.
Nope.
Like a stained glass window.
Nope.
That has been so carelessly destroyed by kids in their football. My feelings are shattered with a hole through them.
You know why my feelings are shattered? She's not telling a story.
You're a fucking asshole.
She's not telling a story. That's why.
Again, I've put myself on the spot and I can't think of one because I'm a fucking genius.
Come on. Your stories trump mine. Mine was like, hey, I made a bad decision.
I got drunk once. I'm like, a crackhead broke into my house.
A crackhead...
while I was sleeping.
A crackhead busted in because he was high, trying to run from the cops, and thought, wow, you know the best way to run from the cops is to run into the cops.
Yeah, I to be fair, have had some crazy goddamn shit happen to me in my lifetime.
I did do that on purpose.
Okay. I wasn't certain, but I wasn't going to question it in case I was wrong.
Well, I saw a group of seagulls, and I thought, seagulls.
There's probably a prize for this.
It's easiest to do this with the boomerang, but since the aiming mechanics are improved in the HD remake, it's just easier to try and hit the eye with
because I think boomerangs also need more than one hit.
Oh, they need a lot more than one.
So you do more damage with the... Like, you can take out an eye per bomb, whereas the boomerang does not.
Let's see. Arrows do 2. Boomerangs.
Okay.
Boomerangs hit more one eye per go,
but you need to hit like 4 times per boomerang.
It takes quite a bit.
Okay, so. Story time. What's a good one?
You tell me.
Well, clearly that's the problem. I'm not telling you. At the moment, anyway.
Whose fault is that?
The fault of the guy who can't think of a fucking story.
Yep.
And clearly I'm stalling for time, and it's hard to think while you're stalling for time.
Yeah, because you're busy thinking about how you need to stall for time.
Yeah! It's like, man, I need to stall for time. How can I stall for time while I need to think about something else? Oh, I know. I'll ask them about the weather. Oh, I'll think about my response for later. Fuck, I didn't think about the thing I need to think about.
Well, I hit the wrong eye. There we go.
And you killed it in the end, so, you know.
There's actually a chart that tells you where all the big octos are, but I never use it.
You can just randomly find them surfing around. I know one of them gives you a heart container.
A heart piece.
You know what I fucking mean.
Maybe they don't. Maybe they honestly thought it was a heart container. Oh, well, I don't think the audience is stupid. It's still rude.
John's a fucking asshat.
A little bit. Come on, where's that story?
I'm thinking.
This one time at band camp.
I have never been to band. Oh, I just thought of a good one. I just thought of a good one. Okay, so.
Found it.
Huh. Timing! I'm gonna have to lower the volume of that. But, timing. Sweet. Okay, so. I went to a summer camp for people who didn't have money. So you didn't pay a goddamn thing and you got to go to really cool places. That's the point. And then the only complaint was I had to write like a fucking school type report for I love that. I had to write like a school report type of fucking paper for it to prove that like they weren't wasting fucking money on this shit. I don't think it's gonna work if you try that many times in the same fucking spot.
I moved forward.
I think the problem was you moved too far forward.
Now I'm mixed around. Okay, continue.
Okay, so that's what it was. And so we got to go to some cool places for free. Because, you know, poor kids deserve to have fun too.
Yes.
And I always ended up with this one kid. I'm not certain why, but his name was Alex. And he was a very well-known local troublemaker. He and his brother were both pretty well-known in the neighborhood, anyway. Alex was, wore fucking camo everything, and his brother kind of ignored everyone. His brother was very, like, not fucking goth, but, like, I met his brother later, and it seemed to be because his brother was nerdy enough that it wasn't socially acceptable, so he just didn't talk to people. Because he didn't want to get judged.
That's fair.
So, valid. But it was Alex and his brother, and I don't remember his brother's name at all. So I went to this camp with them. And one of the things we did was while we were there, we were invited to the local Boys and Girls Club. I don't remember where this was, but we were invited there, and we were just supposed to hang out for the afternoon because, you know, the Boys and Girls Club decided we could, and, you know, they needed some place to stash us because they can't pay for everything.
I like that. Stash us?
Yeah. You know, get the fucking chaperone some time away from kids.
Right. I just like how you worded that. Like you were material objects instead of people.
Okay, so I was there with Alex, and we decided to play in the gym, except the gym was closed. So I was like, in my head, I was like, okay, I'll just deal with this and go somewhere the fuck else. And so I started to, except then he broke into the gym and opened it. And being the fucking gullible idiot that I am, that knows that they won't ever be in this area again, and therefore there are no permanent consequences, decided to join him. There were probably cameras, but we were never there again, so who gives a shit? But we broke into the gym.
There's no, like, negative repercussions to the story, you just broke into a gym?
There are negative repercussions, but they are not related to me having broken into a place. They're related to what we did in the gym.
Oh.
So in this gym, all the fucking equipment that people play with in a gym is there. Fucking basketballs, dodgeballs, all that shit, because they need some place to store it, so why not the fucking locked gym that they didn't think that 2 kids could break into? We're like 12 at this point, so the fact that he knows how to pick a lock is something.
Cool. Not cool.
Really speaks to his upbringing.
Fair.
And so while we're there, we see these giant fucking yoga balls. You know what I'm talking about. They're about the size of your fucking torso. And I was 12 at the time. I was not a tall kid at this point in my life. So, this is like 90% of me is about the size of this ball. And so we're tossing them at each other because we found 2. And there's only 2 of us. Because only me and Alex broke into this area. Because I am very impressionable. I'm very bad at telling people no. And he's very good at abusing that. So, we're there. And we're fucking tossing these yoga balls at each other. And then he pauses and says, hey, I have an idea. Let's play a game. I'll hit you once, and then you can hit me once with these. And it's like, oh, that's perfectly fine. Not thinking this through. And he decides he'll go first.
I think this is fine. Or so I thought.
At this point, I was 80 pounds. I was fucking thin as shit, and I didn't have any fucking muscle mass. My body didn't pretend to be fit. My body knew that what I did all day was I sat and I read. Because I didn't have internet at this point. Because if I had internet, I'd just be on YouTube at this point. But I didn't, so I just sat, I watched some TV, I played some games, and I read. I didn't exercise. The Nintendo Wii, if was out at this point, I was too poor to own one at this point. In fact, I didn't get a Nintendo Wii until a month before the Wii U came out, so, you know. I'm used to not having the fancy shit. But this happened, and so he fucking takes this yoga ball that, again, is 90% bigger than me. It's 90% of my entire height is equal to this yoga ball, and it's made out of fucking material so it won't break. And it's fucking full of air. So he takes this and fucking smacks me upside the head with it.
Oh.
It's a very elastic ball, so I bounce right the fuck back into the ground. The second he fucking hits me, I hit the fucking floor almost. Like, you'd need a fucking slow motion replay to catch me in the air. That's how fucking hard he hit me.
Your body was ready to move in motion once it was hit.
Yes! So I'm fucking on the ground, and I can feel each and every single one of my individual teeth at this point. I am in pain. And he's fucking sitting there laughing at me. And, like, after a while, when I don't get up, because I'm laying there like, that just fucking happened. I'm just laying there, slowly thinking about my life that led to this decision, where I am both in this much pain and laying on the ground. And he realizes that I haven't gotten up. So eventually he fucking helps me up, and he's like, you okay? It's like, I can feel my teeth. I can tell where each tooth is in my body right now, because of how hard you hit me. My mouth hurts so much. And so we move on, we decide to leave the gym, because we realize that probably made a fucking lot of noise. And now some fucking guardian has probably heard that shit, and is moving to figure out what the shit happened. So we move and we leave the gym. And we join the rest of the herd, and we never fucking... If they fucking found out, they never did a goddamn thing, because we didn't get in trouble. But in all of this, and you may have noticed it in my story, in all of this, he hit me so hard, I forgot to hit him back. The only good thing that could have come out of that, I forgot to do.
Revenge.
I saw this kid. Oh, like a month ago, actually. Just sitting in the mall. Because I had gone there to buy some... I don't even remember.
Probably
but I
card
was
games.
there. Yeah, knowing me. Knowing me, it was probably cards. But I was there buying some shit, and I saw him. And he was... He's no longer taller than me, because I'm a pretty tall gentleman. I'm not the tallest, but I'm above average in height. So, you know. But he's fucking thicker than me around, because I'm pretty sure he did go to the military, and either didn't get fucking accepted for that long, or he's just training for when he goes to the military. In fucking combat boots, and with goddamn pierced lip. The weird pierced lip thing where there's a chain to his fucking eyebrow as well.
Huh.
Yeah. I saw him like that. And then I saw his brother, and his brother looks the same as he fucking always did.
Did he age?
His brother didn't get older. He just got taller. He just got taller. You know how that happens for some people?
Yep.
They don't get older.
I did.
Some people, you look at their fucking old pictures and like, wow, I can see that that's you, but you've really changed throughout the years. And some people, it's like, oh.
I've gotten old and jaded.
You're 22. You can't be that jaded.
Oh, I sure shit can.
But that Alex kid, he got me into a lot of trouble throughout the years.
Sounds like it.
But I remember that. I remember later on, after we were fucking asleep, after everyone was fucking asleep and I was just laying there, I'm like, I forgot to hit him back!
Mm.
And of course I didn't see him again to fucking hit him, or at least in a situation which I could, so I've never fucking hit him, even though we technically made a deal.
Do you think he'd remember that?
I think if I told him, he would.
Do you think he would let you?
No. He might, just because he doesn't think I could do damage, though. Maybe. Because, like, I have pretty strong legs, but my arms...
They are sticks.
Yeah. They're not the worst, but... not helpful. They're not gonna help me win any fucking boxing matches anytime soon. I'm not gonna go all Little Mac on a motherfucker.
You're gonna ask what I'm doing?
I'm assuming that because you're descending, there's a treasure at the end of this?
Yes. You'd be correct.
I'm not certain if it's a heart piece or money or what.
What do you think it is?
I'm thinking it's a heart piece with all the effort you've gone through thus far.
Nope.
What is it?
Guess one more time. Because you make me do the same thing all the time.
I always make you guess at least once.
I'm gonna make you guess twice for revenge.
Then I'm gonna guess like a Triforce piece.
Damn it.
Got it right?
Yes.
Okay. Because I don't think you do this for money. Because this is too much work. Well, that didn't help at all.
It's hoping it work.
You're swinging a hammer at a thing in the air. Logic says no, it won't work.
You know what will work? Hitting all these guys with arrows. And I have some gold feathers I can sell later if I wish. Some of the spoils sell decently, like gold feathers. The skull necklaces don't sell worth shit.
But they're worth the minigame.
Yes, which is 50 rupees, and if you're good at it, you can get it done quickly. Which is how I used to have to grind for money, because I didn't have the patience to stop to get those 50 rupee chests. Because it was stupid.
And not very interactive.
It was not. Now, it's no problem, because it's like, oh, hey, this is a nice reward for coming here. Not, damn it, I want to get on with the game. I've been playing for 4 hours and still haven't found the main chest.
Right.
The main chest. The main quest.
So I'm going to tell another story involving me and Alex and the time he got me into trouble. Oddly, the same fucking program for poor kids that took them on vacations and shit, and all you had to do was write a fucking paper. This one, we were at some fucking Christian camp that let us stay in their fucking cabins for free. I don't fucking know. I don't care. That's how it went. And so, it was 4 people to a room with like 2 beds and not enough room between them for 4 people, but who gives a shit? These are kids. They're fucking 12, 13. Who gives a shit? All we have to do is make sure the girls are with the girls and the boys are with the boys. And we've done our job.
What if they were gay?
Too bad.
They just made the situation worse.
Too bad. Statistically, you're not gonna have 2 of the gay kids in one room, so, you know, pans out at least. Okay, so.
Sorry.
I was there, and I managed to get with my closest friend in the Gear Up program. That was the name of the program, by the way, Gear Up. This was this kid who we enjoyed bullshitting together. We talked about really dumb shit, and occasionally I hung out with his brother, in which his brother was very clearly not all there. His brother is always very clearly in his own head, in the clouds, and also mentally deficient, for lack of a better term. Like, diagnosed type of thing.
To find the most politically correct term.
Yeah, to say it in a way where I have nothing against this kid. He was a nice kid. He was 5 years older than me, and I was smarter than him because he was just not all there, but it was fine. But I hung out with him and his brother a lot, because I think he lived kind of nearby, so he'd bike to my house pretty often. And we'd just hang out at the library and shit, because there was free internet at the library, and neither of us had internet at our house. So we'd just play games together on nearby computers in the library, maybe watch TV on it that was pretty sure illegal, but we didn't know enough to know whether it was not. So, I ended up with him. His name is Waylon. You know him.
I do. I programmed with him.
Yeah, I actually remember when he first started programming.
Huh.
Yeah, because he got a really cheap laptop, and he didn't have internet, so he had to figure out something to do, so he just started programming and seeing what he could do with it. I never did that, because by the time I got a computer, I had internet, and so there was YouTubes to watch. But, anyway, I was him, a kid named Alden, who was very quiet. And I only remember his name because of Zaldin from Kingdom Hearts. I was like, oh, hey, maybe that's Zaldin's real name, even though the game explicitly tells you that his real name was Dylan. I still thought that.
Watch this.
Alden.
Kaboom!
Wow, that was pretty. Fireworks. Make 'em go, ah, 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 as you reach across the sky.
Alden.
Ah.
Go ahead.
Okay, Alden was a quiet kid. His brother, Alec, was a very loud kid, and so it seemed to be, you know, the quiet ones are always with the loud ones, brother-wise. Weird combination, but it's true. Actually, I tried to start a band with Waylon. That failed because neither of us could play an instrument or sing.
But
we had a band name. It was AKA IDK.
But you know what we should do? Is save some of this story for later.
No, we're going to finish the story in this episode because you're technically doing one big quest here.
Right.
I made that mental decision.
You should have told me.
I thought it was obvious at this point.
Well,
because the time has clearly gone way past that. So, anyway. And in this room, with me, Waylin, was also Alex. Me, Waylin, Alden, and Alex. Because again, Alex gets me into a lot of trouble. And this is the most trouble he ever got me into. So we were in this cabin and we weren't allowed to leave because they didn't want us roaming around at night. For obvious reasons, because we're 13. Honestly, if they were okay with us roaming around at night, I would have more questions. They were not, though, so...
Would you have had more questions when you were young, or just questions now?
Just questions now.
Okay.
So what they did was they put a piece of duct tape on the outside of the door, so that way if we opened it, the duct tape would be disturbed and they could tell.
Makes sense.
That was their way of doing it.
It's not the best way, because they should obviously have had someone in there, but, you know, foresight.
They couldn't do that because they didn't have enough people, to be honest with you. There just physically was not enough people.
Fair.
And so Alex stole us a bunch of shit from the nearby hotel. I don't even know how he fucking got there in time. Because we were always fucking together. So he stole us a bunch of tea from a nearby hotel. Like the really shitty hotel tea.
Right.
And he says we're going to do something fun. And so what he does is he takes our toilet and he goes into the cistern, which I didn't know that was the name of it at the time, but it's called a cistern. The back of the toilet, it's called a cistern. And he fucking just filled that with the tea bags. And then we waited a few hours and then there was drinkable tea instead of toilet water. Because he's that type of kid.
Okay.
It accomplished nothing. No one drank tea that night.
Thank God.
But we had tea toilet water.
Okay. I'm glad you clarified that.
No one drank tea. No one was willing to drink tea. He's like, oh no, it's sanitary. It's like, then you fucking drink a cup first, Alex. Didn't fucking drink a cup. And I wasn't going to trust it unless he did.
That's
Instead,
fair.
everyone just felt awkward. No one ended up using the restroom that night.
But continue.
So he did that. And while we're in there, he noticed a fucking cupboard in the top. I don't know why I swore there. But because I'm exasperated. He noticed a cupboard up there. You know, like the type of attic where you store shit. So, he, in his bright wisdom, said, you know what we should do? We should explore this. And so what he did, what he had us do, what he had me and Waylin do, was he had us gather all the fucking boxes and move the beds into place. So that way we could push Alden up into there, so Alden could crawl around this fucking crawl space and see if there was anything cool up there. Again, Alex didn't do this himself. He had us help Alden do it. Because this is the type of kid he is.
Right. If he can get away with learning something without him having to deal with the negative repercussions, he's going to do it.
Yeah. And so Alden went around up there for a bit. Because Alden is apparently very bad with peer pressure. And so am I. And Waylin likes being amused.
Oh, yeah.
Waylin is, he's very interesting that way. He will steal something not because he wants it, but to prove he stole it. I've known him to do that. I don't know if he still does that, but I've known him to do that.
He does it just because he can.
Yeah, he's that type of person. He wants to prove he can do something. So Waylin pushed it to happen more. And Alden wasn't even the smallest fucking kid there, so it wasn't even justified that way. Waylin was the smallest kid there. Waylin was at the time 3'4", because we were 13. And even now I don't think he's that tall.
No, he's a pretty small guy.
And at this point, like, me and Alex were both like 4'2", maybe he was 4'5" at this point, because we were fucking kids still.
Right.
Like,
to be fair, that just ends up being the genetic predisposition.
Yeah.
For
kids at that age.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're going to be tall or not, because I'm taller than him now, and he was taller than me at the time. Sometimes height is bullshit. Why are you still stealing those?
I can.
Okay.
Yes. I'm allowed to have kleptomania in this
But
game.
he sent Alden out there. And what happened was Alden ended up fucking outside. It was a portal outside, apparently. He came back, and then we put everything back so that way we wouldn't get caught. In the morning, the fucking chaperones are there making sure we didn't leave too much of a mess for the people and all that shit. And then they look, and they see that the fucking hatch on top is covered in fucking fingerprints. Because apparently, Alden had very, very dirty hands. And then they noticed imprints in the fucking carpet around the area, where you would have conceivably stacked boxes to reach said hatch. So we got caught as soon as we were physically capable of getting caught, which to us was 13 hours later. We had forgotten about this. Or at least I had. And so, they interview each and every single fucking one of us because they know it goes outside to make sure that we didn't sneak outside or do anything we weren't supposed to, under the idea of maybe kicking us out of the program and maybe stranding us in, I don't even know where we were at this point, but making our parents physically come get us at that point. Which, holy fuck, my mom would have fucking killed me.
We would not be having this conversation.
We would not be having this conversation. And you know what? Throughout the entire thing, I don't know what the fuck they said, but I feigned I was asleep at the time. Or at least too tired to care what they were talking about at the time. That's what I did. So that's what happened. Where Alden got me in trouble. Or not Alden. Alex got me in trouble. A fucking again. I'm pretty sure Waylon would remember this story too. Because we got fucking interviewed. Like, 3 fucking chaperones to 1 kid individually interviewed. It was terrifying to me personally. But I tend not to get in trouble. I had stopped getting in trouble at that point in my life. It had been a while since I had last gotten in trouble. And when I say a while, I mean maybe 2 years. I don't know what the fuck that noise is. It's probably my neighbors. Oh well. Well, that's it for this episode.
Yep.
This 27-minute long episode of stories of Alex, this douchebag motherfucker that I went to the poor kid thing with, got me in trouble.
Yep.
Thank you for listening.
Bye-bye.